3, 3,
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Brew here on Brew Sports. It is a Wednesday edition of the program. Yes, I am horribly underdressed or horribly overdressed, depending on the type of day you're having, but it is officially Wacky Wednesday here on Brew Sports. I'm Baxter Colburn. That's McKenzie Laurent. Good morning, McKenzie.
Good
How
morning.
are you? How are you doing? You're great?
I just found out it's Wednesday, not Tuesday. So
It's Wacky Wednesday. We all
Yes.
know. Everybody's supposed to know what day it is when it's Wacky
I mean, I
Wednesday.
knew it was Wacky Wednesday. I just kind of thought it was Tuesday. I don't know.
So this is very strange because
I'm
it's
farther
not
through
Wacky
the week
Tuesday.
than I thought.
We would call it Wacky Tuesday if it was Wacky
Yeah.
Tuesday, I feel like. But I mean, now you know. Now you understand,
Yeah.
I guess. So
Yep.
it is Wacky Wednesday, though. So you've got this weird stripy business going on over there. One stripe's going this way, the other's
This is
going
pretty
that way.
wacky for me.
Is it? I don't know how wacky that is. I mean, do you not get very wacky very often? Not a wacky kind of gal, I guess. I guess to each their own, depending on.
I can be, but I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about the fact that if I wore a tank top and a scarf and a hat, it would be on the internet forever.
I don't feel like that's a problem. I feel like that's a you decision, I guess. So, yeah.
I'll get there. I'll get
yeah,
there.
So, I mean, if you haven't noticed here, I mean, so it's a little cold out. I mean, it is. It's raining outside, so I'm trying to
Yeah,
stay
it
warm
sucks.
personally. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm warm. But it's also, I've got dreams of summer, so I've got my tank top on.
Okay.
And, of course, I've got my scarf on because it's, like I said, it's a little cold. So I'm trying to stay warm all at the same time. Plus, I got my glasses on. So trying to be wacky, but also trying to keep it together this morning as well. So it's Wacky Wednesday. If you are rocking your Wacky Wednesdayness, we'd love to hear from you. You can find us, of course, on social media here on Facebook, at BrewSportsNet, on Twitter, and at BrewSportsNet on Instagram as well, too. If you are wackying it up, we'd love to see it in the comments section below, or as we mentioned, on the social media channels as well, too. We've got two great correspondents joining us today, Alfredo Muente and Christian Heimel. We were able to wake both of our great baseball correspondents up in time. We sent the Pony Express out to Christian Heimel house to fire him up, and Alfredo, of course, down in the great state of Florida. So he's always happy to wake up and embrace the warm weather down there in Florida. So they'll be with us in just a little bit to help us dive into the wonderful world of baseball in just a little bit. But before we do that, it is the What's Brewing segment where we talk about the latest and greatest trending topics in the sports world. McKenzie, what do you got for us to brew us off for the day?
So obviously 2 big games last night in the NHL.
Oh, yeah.
And with basketball. So the Senators did beat the Penguins 2-1. That was game 6. So that will put them into game 7. And then the Cavs did take the Celtics 112-99, even though the Celtics did have quite a big lead until the Cavs decided to turn it on in the second half.
Yeah, and the big controversy going into the last games, or into the game last night, of course, was LeBron James getting 4 fouls in the first half, and then all of a sudden Kyrie Irving had to emerge and put the team solely on his back and trounce on to the promised land.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got this. Everybody jump on. So, I mean, when you learn from LeBron James, I feel like at some point you start to realize that you can put the team on your back and march towards the promised land. So it raises a lot of questions, though, a lot of speculation. I mean, moving forward, I mean, how long does LeBron James still have in the league? But, of course, then is Kyrie Irving the apparent heir to LeBron James in Cleveland? Do you think that he is?
I mean, I think he definitely can be.
I think he's got the possibility.
I think it's hard. I mean, he's already a good player, but you are able to look up and practice with LeBron James every day.
That is true.
You should be getting better, and you should be a star.
In theory, you'd
Yeah.
like to think so. Yeah, I think that would be the certain case for certain players. Others, not so much, of course. But I think Kyrie certainly has what it takes, though, to be that big player and that leader as well, too, come the future as it moves forward. Reminder for you, of course, if you are tuning in, we are looking for 2 answers to our 2 questions of the day. Today, we are asking, what is your favorite rainy day activity? It is, we mentioned raining here outside of the studios at Brew Sports. And it just is one of those kind of like meh days that you would rather be like on the couch watching a movie, drinking wine, legally, of course. McKenzie drinks green tea lemonade or whatever she's doing with her little juice boxes. And just, just relaxing and having a good time. So we'd like to know what your favorite rainy day activity is. And also, if you haven't heard, we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth and a little bit when we get into NFL stuff. Do you care where the Super Bowl is played? Because the NFL recently announced they're moving the Super Bowl for 2021 to Tampa, 2022 going to LA. So love to get your thoughts about that. And as we mentioned, we'll dive in a wee bit more in a little while. Jeff on Facebook says, McKenzie looks really wacky today. She really does, doesn't she? She's a pretty wacky looking gal.
Wait, do people actually think that for real, though?
I mean...
Or are they just trying to make me feel better?
You're probably going to have to take that up with Jeff. I don't know. I'm sure Jeff thinks that. Jeff's a nice guy.
I know what would have made it a wacky Wednesday.
What's that?
If I drank like coffee or something, or a latte this morning. Not an avo latte, but...
you should have had an avo latte.
No, but if I would have had...
You should have. I can pour you some coffee.
Oh... No, I'll pass.
Yeah, we should have. We should have done everything completely reversed. We should have flipped spots. You should
so
have.
it doesn't
hosted.
have. Wow, I just got like mind blown. I don't have to
just
dress
has
wacky. I just have to do
wacky
unnormal things.
Yes,
abnormal
non-McKenzie things. See, for those that know me, they're probably like par for the course. Like, oh, well, of course Baxter dresses like this because if you've watched Halftime, you know that I've done like 12 wardrobe changes on the air before. So
yeah, and Tanner like takes off his shirt and stuff.
Yeah, well,
all the time.
It happens. So maybe that'll happen by the end of the show today. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll try to keep myself together if I can. But Jeff says yes, her stripes are going the opposite way better, or opposite way between her top and her jacket. It's true. I mean, that's very confusing.
Yeah.
If
see,
you had to,
I thought it was wacky.
If you had to sit and look at that after a little while, it'd probably like it's a lot going on.
Yes.
You should have brought like multicolored like line sunglasses or something too, like just completely keep the line trend going. I was hoping for like the two ponytails, a little like pigtail fountains business.
I don't know if all of my hair will reach because the underlayer is pretty short.
Well, you're gonna have to experiment. Cornrows,
right,
half
all right.
cornrows, half others. I've got a whole slew of
We'll
ideas.
have plenty of Wednesdays coming
Oh
forward.
yeah, we got a whole slew of things. Benny answers on one of our questions today. He said, favorite rainy day activity, playing NHL 17. Interesting. I didn't know that a lot of people still play the NHL games, so congratulations. I guess that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
More people I know play like FIFA and Madden and all that fun business, but more props to you.
My friends play NHL.
Do they? Oh, that's good. I've played NHL
and
like
MLB,
08
those
before.
Two. Yeah.
Interesting. Liz says her favorite rainy day activity, cuddling with coffee, watching Netflix. Sounds like fun. Yeah. I'm all about that life. I fully support cuddling while watching Netflix as well too. So coffee's always hard to cuddle with, I feel like, though, because like you can't.
I wouldn't know.
You can't. All right. Like, but I'm saying like you can't cuddle with somebody on the couch and have coffee in your hand because like you're afraid you're gonna like spill your coffee while you're trying to like be cute and cuddly at the same time. You have to like choose between the coffee and your.
You just need to pull up a table next to it.
And bay. What if you don't have a coffee table? What happens then? I don't know. These are the questions we ponder.
Don't drink coffee? I don't know.
I mean, maybe, if you're into that sort of thing, but these are the questions that we lie awake at night sometimes being like,
True.
How interesting. How do I solve this conundrum? My brief, what's brewing today, does center around, as we mentioned, as we was mentioned last night on Double Dribble, John Hammond is leaving the Milwaukee Bucks, got hired as the GM for the Orlando Magic. It's kind of a big thing in the NBA world, of course, here in the Milwaukee area, also a pretty big thing as well, too. So congratulations to John Hammond for not only his successful time here in Milwaukee, but also for heading down to Orlando to prove that good things can come out of the state of Wisconsin. So more props to you, John Hammond. Congratulations on that one. So I'm curious to see what he does. He certainly was one of those people that was very influential, and a guy like Giannis coming to the Milwaukee Bucks, he was very influential in a lot of other areas as well, too. So we'll see if he can help turn the Orlando Magic around at some point as well, too.
Best of luck.
Yeah, best of luck over there, Big Johnny. Jeff also says, how did the coffee poll go yesterday, by the way? # Team McKenzie. I think you should.
Yes.
I think before we bring our correspondents on, you should check the polls fast and give us the answers.
First of all, I just put up our polls on Twitter. So
perfect.
if you are not on Facebook, or you're on Facebook and also want to be on Twitter, you can cast your vote there. I love that. I have like fans, like people like listen to what I say. Like half these people probably do drink coffee.
I mean, you've started a strange cult. Let's be honest here. It's very strange.
Oh, gosh.
So what do we got?
Okay,
What are the
let me see it
results here? So, because the question yesterday was, do you drink coffee?
Right.
Yes or no? That was the main question
Oh,
yesterday.
oh, so close.
What?
So, yes, 51%, no, 49%.
Cheers to my coffee
Okay,
drinkers
but-
out there.
That's high. I thought I would get like 9% of people say no, not 49.
People are trending downwards, actually, on drinking coffee. It's rather strange. I've met a couple of people recently that, like, I will ask them, like, through conversation, or I'll be drinking coffee and offer them
Yeah.
coffee, and they'll be like, oh, would you like some coffee? Like, no, actually, I don't drink coffee. It seems to be, like, this weird trend, I feel like, nowadays, because when I was a kid growing up, like, everybody had coffee. Mom, dad, grandma,
Yeah.
grandpa, everybody drank coffee. Now I feel like nobody drinks coffee anymore. It's so strange.
What is it?
Or I
Is it
should
because
say,
people drink like teas and they're trying to be like healthy?
of course, everybody's.
Yeah.
That's why they're drinking lattes out of an avocado nowadays. Is because people are trying to be healthier. Be like, if I can justify my actions by having a latte cavo, or sounds like a Pokemon or something.
Yeah.
An avolatte. Avolatte, I choose you. Anyway. All right, let's get to the baseball world. Let's get in Alfredo Muente and Christian Heimel this morning. A couple of different trending things to hit in the baseball world. If you haven't answered our questions of the day, please do so. Favorite rainy day activity, and do you care where the Super Bowl is played? We say good morning to Tika and Jeff and others as well, too, chiming in, Liz and many others. Love to hear from you. Liz giving you some love, or giving me love, rather. Sorry. She says, coffee. I didn't vote because I don't have a Twitter. Tika says, if you're a college student, you have to drink coffee. You're not a real college student, McKenzie. You're a fraud.
Oh no, I'm real.
I suppose so.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is very real. We both walked in this morning, and see, maybe you'd be a little bit more fiery and rambunctious if you had coffee in your day.
I'm a little nervous what I would be like if I had coffee
I think
because
this
I
needs
have
to be a
energy
social
and I'm very
experiment.
outgoing anyways.
I support this. All right, let's ask our correspondents first before we talk baseball. Alfredo, good morning to you first and foremost, sir. Are you a coffee drinker?
Good morning, Baxter, and good morning, McKenzie. No, I am not a coffee drinker. I prefer tea. Actually.
He's a tea
Wait,
guy.
what kind of tea?
It doesn't really matter. Just as long as it's nice and warm.
See, I feel like Alfredo's always like super fired up, so I would assume that he was always like got the coffee through the veins. Like he's always so like
I hate warm
so
tea.
passionate. Really?
Oh god.
Really? I love warm tea. That's interesting. Christian, what are you going to be my friend or are you going to be my enemy this morning? As he's drinking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was busy finishing my first cup of coffee, which is 100% needed every single day.
There we go. So we each have an ally this morning, McKenzie. You have you and Alfredo versus Christian and I in a game of pickup coffee or something. I don't even know. We'll have to see, I guess. But all right, let's get to the actual baseball this morning, guys. McKenzie and I actually had an opportunity to go to the Milwaukee Brewers game last night. They took on the Toronto Blue Jays. Got to see Jose Bautista's beard in person. It was rather finely trimmed and very intriguing. No bat flips. I was a little disappointed by that last night, I'm going to be honest. But the conspiracy theories around the state of Wisconsin, at least, is that the Brewers have not won a game since Weathergate took place over the weekend when the Cubs postponed or just said, oh, no, we can't play baseball. There's a rain cloud in the sky. Shut it down. Do you guys buy into this conspiracy theory? Christian, we'll start with you, sir. And is there any way to diagnose what's wrong with the Brewers? If there really is anything, they're still a game and a half up in first place.
Yeah, a game and a half up in the Central with the defending World Series champions right there. Listen, I think anybody in Milwaukee should be excited about what the Brewers are doing right now. And that is because this is a team that is still very much in rebuilding mode. And the fact that you have Travis Shaw, who leads your team in RBI, I think is a huge benefit to them. So this is an unsung player who has apparently found a home. I loved watching him in Boston for years. I thought he was an incredibly invaluable piece, especially in third and first base. But I think the bigger issue with Milwaukee is the fact that you've got 5 of your top 7 guys hitting 270 or less. That is where the biggest issue comes with Milwaukee right now. And unless you're going to start getting guys above that, I mean, listen, Ryan Braun's hitting 265. That's not going to get it done. When your best guy is Eric Thames at 309 and the next highest batting average is 283, it's not going to get it done. I don't see a conspiracy theory. I just see a bunch of guys who still haven't found their rhythm yet.
I agree.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's just what I was just going to say. That's what we saw at the game last
Yeah.
night is we couldn't make contact with the ball. And when we did it. It was nothing.
It was really strange last night too, because like I had been very vocal about this. This
Yeah.
is my first Brewers game that I had been to in 2 years, and I honestly didn't see much difference from the Brewers 2 years ago than to the Brewers that I saw last night. I mean, granted, there was a couple of nicer plays or whatever, but still kind of saw that same like, it's the Brewers.
They're
like,
a young team. Yeah.
They were down 4-0 in the 5th inning, and I'm like, well, time to pack it in, boys. It's been a fun time. And then all of a sudden they had that fiery 4th inning.
Well,
or
if they're
5th
not
inning,
scoring runs in the first inning,
everybody freaks out.
Yeah, but you also know it's like almost over. Like they hardly bring themselves back in it when they get themselves down.
That's true. Alfredo, how do you view this situation in Milwaukee right now?
Well, I don't think it's time to hit the panic button just yet for them. I mean, they have won 7 out of their last 10 games. And, Christian was talking a little bit about the offense, but if you look at their pitching, their leader in wins right now is Zach Davies, who's got 5. He's 5-2 right now, and he currently has an ERA of 5.44. So that ERA is a little bit high, and I think that's the problematic thing with them. So I think going down in the year as the things start to get warmer in Milwaukee, as Miller Park starts to open up the roof a little bit, I think that, they're going to provide a lot of offense. That's not going to be a problem for them. They're just going to need to pitch a little bit better, and they're going to have to get their bullpen situated. They do play very well on the road. As you can see right now, they're 13-8. So one of the things is they're also going to have to start winning at home also, a team that is just hovering about 500 right now in that regard.
Looking at this team as a whole, too, Benny on Facebook agrees. He says, yes, he certainly believes the team has been on a cold streak since Weathergate. So it's not a conspiracy. I mean, they lost 13-6 the other day. Then they lose 4-3 last night. They had runners in multiple scoring positions. Just couldn't do anything with it last night. And I know that this kind of continues to be a conversation as well, too, around the baseball, around Major League Baseball as a whole, is that Ryan Braun still just doesn't look like he cares. And he was right out in front of where I was sitting last night, and even looking at him in the outfield, looking at him when he was up at bat as well, too. I was listening to the radio on the way home. The announcers were talking about Ryan Braun just doesn't look like he cares. Do you think he's purposely trying to just tank, or not even necessarily tank, but just like try to get to like level 0 so he can just get out of Milwaukee?
I think
it's hard.
He wants to get out for sure.
No,
I think he does. Go ahead. That's all I think.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what do you think, Alfredo?
Well, I don't know if that's really the case. I think that if the Brewers are not in it come trade deadline, that he could definitely be gone. I think the Dodgers would be a great suitor for him and other teams as well. But, I mean, if you look at overall his numbers, I mean, he's not doing too poorly. I mean, the guy right now comes in, he has 7 homers, he's got 19 RBI, and, he's drawing walks. And I think his strikeout rate is a little bit high at this point. But, it's difficult to see if the guy's not trying or not. I think you would gauge that a little bit better actually watching them and playing them live, but as opposed to watching it on television.
Christian, what do you think, sir?
I think for anybody to say that a major league player doesn't look like he's interested or doesn't look like he wants to be there is a little ridiculous, especially if you don't want to be somewhere. Your job is to play so good that you are either a valuable trade piece or you attract other teams in free agency. So I do think, and I agree, I think Braun is probably the guy that the Brewers would trade if they do become sellers at the deadline, simply because he is someone that still is a name. He'll still attract a little bit of a fan base. And as Alfredo said, the Brewers need some better pitching. So he would be one of those guys that you could maybe get for a prospect or two. I can't, I don't know how well he could possibly play an infield position as his career goes on. I don't know how well he'd be able to do over at first base. I think it'd be interesting to watch. Or if he could end up going over to the American League as a designated hitter. We always talk about that with these slugging outfielders. Eventually their stop is going to be the American League. But I don't think he is disinterested. I don't think he doesn't care. I just think that Ryan, he's gotten to that point where people know how to pitch to him now. And I'm not saying one way or the other, but it's a little coincidental that his decline has been starting really since he kind of went through a very vicious fight to clear his name over a poorly tampered or whatever sample a couple of years ago.
You're not wrong about that. Yeah. Benny on Facebook also makes a good point. He says, I feel like Braun only hits well when no one is on base. He said he definitely choked again last night. He said, I'm sick of him striking out or grounding into double plays when we need him to be clutch. And that's what Ryan Braun was for such a long time, was that clutch player. And it just seems to not be
and that's what I'm curious about. Do either of you actually think he's even a valuable player anymore? Like, would either of you be upset if he were to be traded or let go?
It depends on what you get for him. I mean, listen, there are teams out there that have so much minor league depth and an ability to go and grab someone at the trade deadline. If it was, everybody wants to talk about it because they've got the best young staff. But if the Mets are willing to part with a Steven Matz or someone like that, and you can get him, and maybe you have to pay his salary or a Braun salary if you're the Brewers. But the other thing that we got to remember here is it's not just Braun who's struggling with runners on base. Pitching in general has come up the last couple of years. You're seeing strikeout numbers go through the roof over the last couple of years. And that is a lot, in fact, due to because the pitching staffs have just gotten better in Major League Baseball. And it's so much different now than it was even just 3 years ago in what we're seeing. So I do think he's still a valuable trade piece. I think if the Brewers are going to unload him, they're going to have to probably pay the majority of his salary, if not all of it. And they're not going to get that superstar that's going to put him on a pennant run this year.
Alfredo, how do you view this situation right now?
Yeah, I agree with Christian and what he's saying. I think he is expendable. And the thing is that he's lost a little bit maybe as far as base running as well. He does have 4 stolen bases right now. But, as he starts to age a little bit, you look for a guy that is consistent. His batting average is just a tick under the MLB average. And, of course, he still has great power. But the Brewers have the luxury of having a great guy in their farm system called Lewis Brinson, who is one of the top prospects. And he's going to be up very soon. Of course, they have Keon Broxton. Of course, he's very electric out there. He runs everything down out there. And Domingo Santana is another great slugger. So they have young players. Corey Ray is another guy in their system from Louisville who is going to be in that starting outfield at Miller Park soon. And they do have guys that are going to be coming up. So Ryan Braun is certainly expendable at this time.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see how the camps are a little divided on a guy like Ryan Braun.
Yeah.
Benny's putting the campaign here in the comment section. He says hashtag ship Braun to LA 2017. They're just trying to. That was the big rumor for a while last year. It was Braun for Puig last year.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just do it play for player, and a bunch of prospects call it a day. Never really ended up happening, but you still have heard the rumors of that as well
Right.
too. And Braun only has like 8 teams he can get traded to as well too. He's got one of those weird contracts. So all right, let's step away from the Brewers here briefly. We'll stay in the same division though, because of course. When you win a World Series, you immediately get thrown under a massive microscope, and the Cubs took a massive step back last night, losing their former player that was in Dancing with the Stars. So, of course, Cubs Nation is completely – no, I'm just kidding. We're not going to Dancing with the Stars. That's not what we're about to talk about. But, unless you guys watched Dancing with the Stars. I don't know if either of you did last night. Christian, Alfredo, did you watch the finale last night?
I did not. I was actually
I did not, but I was
working
rooting for Old Man River Ross. I definitely was.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was just like, and in fact, Rashad Jennings won. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But no, the Cubs themselves have started pulling themselves back a little bit more. They are moving a little bit more upwards in the divisional standings as well too. People were freaking out, of course, as we mentioned numerous times in the beginning of the season, like, oh, the Cubs are not where they used to be. They seem to be kind of getting it back together. They got a 4-1 victory last night against the Giants. This seems to be moving back upwards again too. Can Cubs Nation kind of take a step back and breathe a little bit more in your opinion, Christian?
100%. Listen, this is what we've talked about a couple of different times. The Cubs pitching and defense wins, and that's what the Cubs have more than anything else. You look at last night's game, a rematch of the playoffs with Johnny Lester going against Cueto, and you saw exactly what you would expect was the fact that John Lester, it still baffles my mind that it was almost 9 years ago that he threw a no-hitter against the Royals at Fenway Park. He's almost an ageless wonder now at this point. He's a stud. He's a tremendous left-hander. And when you've got him along with the other guys in their rotation, like Hendricks, who's going tonight, I think the Cubs are just fine. It's going to take a little bit for it to come around, but it's a 162-game season. Let's calm down, Cub Nation. They are going to win this division unless something happens. If the Brewers stay there and they make a great trade at the deadline to get a massive arm, who knows? But the Cubs are going to win this division still. Don't be concerned. I think they're just fine, and you're starting to see it now, especially with a performance last night like you got from John Lester.
Alfredo, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, they've only played 44 games, right? We're not even at Memorial Day yet. That's usually when people start looking at the standings at the quarter mark of the regular season. But I look at the offense, and I think that, they're going to be just fine. They should win the National League Central, like Christian said. I think a guy like Anthony Rizzo, his batting average is a little bit low right now, but he is contributing offensively in the power numbers range, home runs, RBIs, and such. And you have a guy, of course, in Chris Bryant, who last year was the National League MVP. And obviously, I think Bryce Harper's a guy that's going to win that this year. But, it's still too early to say. He is one of the faces of that franchise as well. I think with their catchers, you talked about David Ross, but I don't think they miss him too much. They have Wilson Contreras and they have Miguel Montero, who have been solid. behind the plate, no matter who's playing. And, when you inject the kind of energy that a Javi Baez brings to the team, and one of the top prospects coming from Oakland a couple of years ago in Addison Russell, this is a good team, and I don't think they should be worried at all right now.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. We got to let you run, unfortunately, but we are very grateful for both of you taking the time this morning. Alfredo, where can people find you on social media if they want to get after your work?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Alfredo_Muente, and then also you can read my blogs on blogger.com. I just wrote a piece yesterday about how deep the state of Texas is with both the Rangers and the Astros playing well. That's at alfredomuentebaseball.blogspot.com.
Perfect. And Mr. Heimel, sir, where can they find you?
As always, you guys can catch me out on Twitter at Chris Heimel.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Have
a
good one, guys.
Christian
Thanks,
and Alfredo this morning here on the Brew Sports Network. I felt like Alfredo purposely emphasized that underscore Muente a little bit there.
Yeah.
He's like, that underscore crew. He doesn't drink coffee. He's got an underscore in his Twitter name.
What's the issue?
No, it's fine. People just going against the grain. Yeah, you weird people. No, it's fine. Anyway, if you're just joining us this morning, we'd love to hear from you. If you haven't voted on our Twitter polls, go do that as well, too, at BrewSportsNet. If you haven't voted or given us your thoughts on the questions of the day on Facebook, do that as well, too. Good morning to Dave and Josh and others tuning in. Josh says, Brewers need to keep getting younger, and they really need to move Braun to keep on that path and to get in a great position to be consistently competitive the next 5 to 10 years. Josh chose a lot of very strange words to say this early in the morning.
Yes.
So I was very difficult to
That's a good thought, though, because I would agree with it.
It is. It's a phenomenal thought at this point, honestly. Do you have a check on our Twitter polls for us, McKenzie?
Yeah,
to
I
see
do.
If anybody has voiced their opinion so far.
Do you care where the Super Bowl is played? 83% of people saying no.
Interesting. Okay.
And then we have a response. So what is your favorite rainy day activity? A good cup of coffee or a glass of wine, a blanket, and a good movie by the window.
Oh, my.
So pretty,
It's very detailed.
Very descriptive, but similar to what you had said before.
Sure. So what is your favorite rainy day activity? Now that we're on this topic. Because right now, it's 41 degrees outside, at least here in Milwaukee. I don't know where everybody else is in the rainy days.
I like watching HGTV.
I do too. I'm not going to lie. I really do. But
Yeah.
I feel like my rainy day in Wisconsin is different than my rainy day in Florida. Because there's usually about a 40
I
degree
was gonna say
difference.
it's different
Yeah.
temperatures.
If it's a rainy day in Florida, I want to be outside.
Yeah.
I want to be out playing soccer. I want to be out running in the rain. I want to be just in general at the pool or something,
Right.
because it's fun to be a part of warm rain as it's coming down. In Wisconsin, it's it's 40 degrees. It might snow in 5 seconds. I want to be inside doing different things. So more of an HDTV.
I like HGTV.
Are you a love it or list it? Are you flip flop? What are you?
I'm a
Fixer upper.
Fixer-upper,
Yeah.
like the flip-flop. My parents flipped some houses when I was younger and stuff. So.
Oh, interesting. What haven't your parents done? Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Mackenzie's parents, if you haven't figured out yet, have done basically everything at some point.
Yeah, they're
somewhere.
great, but
And her dad knows everybody.
it's true.
It's true.
It's really true.
Yeah, it's very true. Liz says, yes, HDTV or Brew Sports. Both are great on a rainy day, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Depending on the day and where you are at that point as well, too. So we do say good morning to Chuck as well, too, and everybody else that continues to tune in. Check out our favorite, our rainy day activity. Answer that question for us. And ask also, where do you care where the Super Bowl is played? We'll get to that in just a second. Yeah, for me, rainy day, I feel like you always have to have some sort of a good soup or dish in the oven. I feel like if you're gonna have a rainy day, don't you? Doesn't that make sense? My grandma makes an incredible chili, so I feel like if I've got a bowl of my grandma's chili just sitting in the crock pot, and I can then grab a blanket and watch a movie, or if I know you close the blind so it's not very bright, it's nice and dark. You can binge watch whatever you need to, I guess, as well too. But I feel like that would be how I would partake in a rainy day. Or I also like going on long car rides as well too. I almost sometimes prefer to go up to a place, I've got to go on a 2-hour drive. Well, it's rainy out, having some nice jazz music as I'm driving or listening to a show or something. Or I'm very old school and stereotypical, so be like, oh, what's on NPR? I'll throw that on as I'm driving up to Door County or something. Or Nora Jones.
Okay.
Nora Jones is a classic car ride, long car ride kind of thing. I don't know.
Everyone's got their thing.
It is. Mackenzie's like, you're so weird. Okay. I can see it in her face. She's trying to be nice and respectful. Be like, oh, okay. You can tell me I'm weird. It's okay.
You're not weird.
Mm-hmm. She can't look me in the eye and tell me that, though.
You're not weird.
Ah, okay. I had to call her out on it for her to tell me that. Anyway.
I have my own weird things.
What do
too.
you do? Tell me. Let's find out more weirdness about McKenzie. I'm very open and honest about my life, and I feel like nobody. Yeah, you've been very like, you know.
No, I have been honest. I
That's
have said
true.
everything I don't like, which
That's
it goes
true.
against the grain.
That is very true.
I guess this is kind of weird. I don't find the sound of rain relaxing. Like
Oh,
people are like,
interesting.
"Oh, it's thunderstorming," or maybe not thunderstorming, but it's raining. I want to take a nap. For me, I'm like, why can I not just be quiet? Like I don't find it relaxing.
Do you need sound to fall asleep?
No.
Really? You can fall asleep and
Yeah,
like.
and I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, so.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, I have to have a fan. I have to have some sort of a noise
I prefer
machine.
it like silent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, I'm very much a noisemaker, some sort of river sound, something white
Okay.
noise put me to sleep. So personally, Dave asks on Facebook. He says, "Baxter, what's up with the Where's Waldo dress? That does not look like rainy day gear." Well, if you haven't heard, Dave, it's Wacky Wednesday.
Wacky Wednesday.
So we are dressed in wackiness, obviously, as you can imagine. I'm dreaming of summer, so I've got my tank top on, but it's cold outside, so I've got a scarf and a hat on, of course. So and these glasses are my blue light glasses, so it's not.
I was
like
thinking of getting some of those.
You should. I've actually, since I've talked about these on the air, I've actually had a couple people reach out to me personally and be like, "Whoa, they actually work," or like, "I need to get me some blue light glasses."
Well, I was
like,
just
they
thinking
do
of
work.
how much time I spend
Looking
looking
at
at
a
a
screen?
computer
Yeah.
or my phone.
Or even your
and I'm
phone.
like,
Yeah.
wow, I should probably do something about that.
Yeah.
So I might do it. We'll
That's
see.
true. Yeah, Dave says he was just tuning in, so he's like, "Yeah, it makes sense. You pull it off." Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Next time I do some announcing for you, Dave, maybe I will wear this outfit for you. Chuck says, "I'll be at Miller Park, which has not been rained out." I see what you did there, Chuck. Well played. I love you too, Dave. Thank you very much. Good morning to Adam as well, too, and many others tuning in. We are asking the question, as we mentioned, favorite rainy day activity. And how are you spending your Wacky Wednesday? And do you care the Super Bowl or where the Super Bowl is being played? Adam says, "What the hell are you wearing?" It's Wacky Wednesday, Adam, okay?
Maybe
So
we need to have that in the description because I think,
that it's Wacky Wednesday?
yeah.
I feel like it might be helpful. That might save some people
Yeah.
some. I can put that
Oh,
in
you
there.
can add that?
Yeah, I can.
Wow.
I know, modern technology. There we go. It's Wacky
Nice.
Wednesday. Boom. Saved. Done. In the description. Get after it. There we go. Modern technology. Now you know. We're celebrating Wacky Wednesday. It's going to be a tradition here, whether we do something that's wacky or we dress some way that's wacky as well, too. So, and everybody's different, and I get that. And some people can't pull off Mackenzie's got the crisscrossing stripes,
Yeah.
where if, she were out on the town with her girls, they would be like, Miss Magic,
no. We
one
don't
stripe
know
is going
her.
this way, another stripe is going that way. I
know
can't even
her.
be seen with you right now.
Can
I
I
don't
tell
know.
you that my brother just messaged me and said jazz music weird with a little frown face?
What? Okay, for those that don't know a single thing about Baxter Colburn, I live for jazz music. I really do. I love it. I've taken jazz classes. If I had a choice between listening to one genre for the rest of my life, I would pick jazz
Yeah.
music. My favorite station on Pandora is Jazz Essentials. Love it.
That's good though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a 17-year-old high school boy, so
Yeah, kids these
you
days.
would
Kids these days don't
you would be a
understand.
stair dweller if you
they-
listen to jazz music.
They don't respect the classics, man.
Yeah.
And it's all about how you were raised, though, as well, too. I mean, I was raised around like classical music.
Okay, and we were raised
jazz
around country music,
Yeah, so
so.
I would light a pitchfork.
Wait, you don't
and-
like country
I
music?
don't like country music. I will
Oh,
listen
we need to make a poll.
Sure.
Do
Make
you
it-
like country music?
Why-
Mackenzie says yes, so you must
so then-
answer yes.
So everybody will say yes. I will lead the charge for the non-country musicers. Are you dropping stuff over there?
Yeah,
what are
my
you doing?
phone.
Good
I'm
Lord.
trying to make a poll.
Tell me there's more people out there that don't like country music. All you sing about is dirt roads, your dog, your woman, and your truck. How is that entertaining?
And God.
Yeah.
And bar stools.
Anybody can sing about that. I mean, come on, really? That seems a bit
You
ridiculous.
really don't like country.
There's like
Okay,
5 country
the first
songs
day
I like.
was here, you said, I'm all over with music. I
I
like
am.
it all.
Like I said, I am all over with music, and I like maybe 5 or 6 country songs. And even though they're not like the hardcore like country songs either, though. Like I like what Florida Georgia Line does. I like.
Oh,
some
that's
of the,
not real country.
Exactly. I like I like some
That's
of Taylor
like the
Swift
new
stuff.
like pop country.
Exactly, and that's more of what I like. I don't want to listen to Chase Atkins or whatever his name is, or Billy John something or other down there singing about the sweet water in Kentucky. Like I don't care about that. Like that has nothing to do it for me. It just doesn't. Does that make me
Okay.
a bad person? Like,
No.
I'm trying to think. I'm like,
Not at all.
I like Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker. Is that a country song?
Oh yeah, that's super
okay.
country.
Well, I also use that as part of my engagement for my wife, so I guess that kind of has like so. But aside from that, like, I kind of got ushered in there, I guess, in that
Okay.
regards. Oh, Josh Adkins, whatever. I was close. What are you gonna do? I guess. Chuck says this guy doesn't like country. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. I'm glad somebody is on board with me. He says unless it's Johnny Cash, he doesn't like country music. I mean, that's the thing. Like, do people tune in for like the CMAs, the Country Music Awards? Does anybody? Can you name 5
Yeah.
country artists?
Oh yeah.
Who? Give me 5.
Billy Currington, Florida Georgia Line, Carrie
I
Underwood.
thought Florida
Miranda.
Georgia Line didn't count.
Well, no, they're still a country.
Okay, Carrie Underwood.
Miranda Lambert, Dierks Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
How many do you want me to do?
I
Rascal
wanna-
Flatts.
There you go. I guess that works. Yeah, I like Highway. Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts.
Okay.
Right? I like that one. I like some of the popular songs, but like
Luke Bryan.
I'm not gonna like go super deep into like Luke Bryan's archive and be like, oh, this is when Luke was really going through some
Shake
stuff.
it for me,
Not- I
girl.
mean, like I said, there's like 5 or
They're
6
good.
songs that I kind of like. Jason Aldean, Brad Paisley, yeah, those guys as well too. It makes sense to me. Josh on Facebook says Wagon Wheel was actually a Bob Dylan song originally. Was it really?
Really? Huh. He
I
probably
don't know
did it better. But I am a Darius Rucker fan.
I do him.
Okay.
All right.
Twitter. Do you
Twitter
like
poll.
country music? Your options are heck yeah or no, it makes my ears bleed.
I think you need to put in there though, like if you say heck yeah, Team McKenzie, heck or like.
No, I did. I said PSA Mackenzie Laurent says yes, so answer yes.
Oh my gosh, I need to go to Twitter right now and vote. Everybody go vote for no country. Hashtag no country. This is a sad day. I don't know. I can't even do it. Maxine joins us on Facebook. Good morning, Maxine. It's good to see you. She says, rainy day. She loves a book, a blanket, some tea, snuggled up in bed. That sounds like a good time to me, personally. I don't know if many people...
Is it weird that I can't actually just sit in bed and watch TV and like have a lazy day?
Well, you're kind of a weird gal.
I get so... I don't know what the word is. Restless.
Antsy? Restless?
Yeah, restless. I'm like,
It's all that
I
coffee
could be
you drink.
cleaning, I could be cooking, I could be working out, I could be, I don't know.
Can
I
you take a
always find stuff to
vacation?
do.
Like, are you that gal that's like, let's go on vacation, then you get there and be like, okay, I gotta do something. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, that's me. Like, there's like activities, you got to do stuff. I mean, I usually do take one day
You're gonna
to
be
just
that.
lay on the
You're gonna be
beach.
that mom, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Be like,
My
"Let's
kids
go,
are gonna be
let's
like,
go."
this woman is insane.
Yeah, be like, we're in Florida, Mom. Yeah, I know. Let's go. We're going to Disney tomorrow. We're going Islands of
I've
Adventure.
never been to Disney. Fun fact.
I've only been one time. I think
Well, maybe
Disney's,
not fun,
Disney's
but-
overrated. Too many Asians.
Yeah. Oh.
It's true.
Hat turn fast.
It's not even a remotely bad thing to say. Ask anybody that's ever been to Disney and tell me the ratio of Asians to anybody else. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's not even an offensive thing to say because it's 1,000% true. I guarantee you that anybody that's ever been to Disney
Well.
would get on board with me on that one.
All right.
Put it on the Twitter poll. No.
We should probably talk about our other
We probably
poll
should.
question.
Yeah,
about the
it's,
Super
it's
Bowl.
not racist, Adam. It's 100% true. Literally ask anybody that's ever been to Disney in the last decade, and they will tell you that there are far more Asians. It's true.
I mean-
Chuck says he's been to the Anaheim Disney, where
They probably say, "Oh my God, there's white people everywhere."
is that racist if an Asian says there's too many white people? See, Benny agrees with me. He says, yes, Baxter, it's right. It's crazy. Ha! Way to go, Benny. Way to get up with me this morning. I'm glad people are getting on board with the Baxter train. Takes a while to get it moving, but when we get rolling, we can't be stopped. Anyway. So, do you care where the Super Bowl is played?
All right.
The
No.
NFL, yeah, you don't care. Yeah, the NFL announced yesterday, if you haven't heard, the NFL owners meeting voted on this. They said that they're moving the 2021 Super Bowl to Tampa, which is kind of a strange place, I guess. And they are moving the 2022 Super Bowl, which originally was supposed to be in LA, but because the stadium in LA has been delayed because it's been raining too much. It's the most California thing I've ever heard. It's raining.
Yeah.
We can't build the stadium. Get
We-
over it.
We built a Bucks arena in
Negative.
snow.
Yeah. Get over it. California people are literally the
Anyways.
worst. Literally the worst. Not happening. But then they moved this, so they moved it to LA there for
Yep.
2022, basically. So you say you don't care where the Super Bowl is played. I
No.
really don't care where the Super Bowl is played. I think the only people that care where the Super Bowl is played, even the players, they don't care. They're just going to go play the game. They don't care
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
inside,
They're
outside.
going to the Super Bowl.
The only
Why would
people
they
that
care?
actually care and cause a fuss is the media. because they're the ones that get to go and hang out for a week and a half, basically.
Right.
They're like, oh, do I get to go golfing? Do I get to go ice fishing? Like, it's in Minnesota this year. Everyone's going to go ice fishing or snow tubing or snowshoeing or whatever other, curling maybe. I don't know. I would see the ESPN versus Fox curling. I think that would be fun. Be all about that life. But, yeah, I really don't care where the Super Bowl's played. I mean, obviously it helps when it's in a dome. Just in general, because it's like, okay, we're going to have the most level game.
Yes.
Super Bowl that was in Miami back when Peyton Manning and the Colts won, it was in a monsoon, basically. Like, I would have been very curious to see if the Bears may have actually been good to play and actually win that Super Bowl.
That's a weird thought.
Can you imagine if the Bears won that Super Bowl? I don't know if anybody can fathom such a thing, but if you could actually imagine the Bears winning that Super Bowl, I'd have been curious. But I also feel like Peyton Manning would have done even better because the ball would have been dry and he could have actually operated a little bit better as well, too. But Rex Grossman, didn't he fumble like 3 times in that game too? Like it was bad for the Bears. So that would be my only thing about that. So like I'm excited when it's in a dome or I'm excited when it's in a warm place. Yeah. So like in Tampa, like sure, that'll be great. LA, of course, it makes sense in LA. But that's why Green Bay will never get a Super Bowl. That's why Chicago will probably never get a Super Bowl as well too, is because people don't want to go to Green Bay outside of people that live in Wisconsin. Don't want to go to Green Bay in February.
Bunch of babies.
Yeah, they are. Man up. I would go like this to the Super Bowl.
That's part of the experience.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's true.
Heck yeah, it is.
That's true.
I don't care where the Super Bowl is played because I'll probably never go. Well, maybe eventually, but I'm saying
we'll be there.
If I'm going, I'm not worried about where it is. I'm like, yes, going to the Super Bowl. You know?
And do you think?
And I probably didn't
do you
buy
think
the
the local
ticket.
businesses actually care too when it comes to that kind of thing? Like, do you think that the local businesses around Minnesota, like for wherever the stadium is, I guess in the Twin Cities, are actually hyped to be like, yes, Super Bowl's coming? Or are they going to be like, shit, like really?
And they're going to be like, yes, lots of money, and then
right, like now it's going to be
no. Holy crap!
stupid.
Do we need to plan and figure this out?
Right, we need to hire like 20 more people for our little coffee shop to make more avolates. Like, I feel like that would be it. And I really don't feel like people, and Adam and Luis are saying this in the comment section, like for the Champions League final as well too. They said they really don't care to the fact that it's being played in Cardiff. And most of the time, if you ask just about any fan in any sport, like, do you care where the final is? Most people don't care.
No.
Fans will travel regardless for the most part. It's like, what's that? It's in
especially the Super Bowl because I don't know if this is true, but for me personally, if I go to the Super Bowl, it's probably because I was gifted the ticket or asked to go along or something. Like, I'm not going to go online and just buy a Super Bowl ticket.
No.
So, therefore, I don't care about the other factors. I'm going to the Super Bowl.
Right, exactly. That's the thing for me, too. If I found out, like, oh, hey, you get to go to the Super Bowl, I'd be like, great. I don't care where it is. Is it in Carolina? Oh, is it in Houston? Phenomenal. Game on. Let's get after it. Like, I don't really care where it is. I'm going to go regardless. Like, I was able to call the ABA championships a couple of years was it last year, I guess. And I was like, oh, great, where are the championships? Like, this will be exciting. And they're like, well, it's in Laredo, Texas. I was like, holy crap, I'm going to Mexico, basically. Like, it was literally on the border. We drove to the border. But I didn't care. I was like, great, we get to go work in a beautiful arena, like, whatever. Like,
new place to visit.
Right, exactly. Now, like, maybe on paper, like, Laredo's not sexy. People don't want to go spend a week in Laredo for the finals. But aside from that, they're like, people want to go to Miami. People want to go. I don't think people are going to want to spend a week in the Twin Cities. Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't even think you
but
want to spend.
they'll still go.
I wouldn't recommend spending a week in Tampa. I'd recommend spending a week in Fort Myers or Naples or Sarasota or Clearwater, but don't spend a week in Tampa. Just go up to Tampa for the game and then stay outside of Tampa. Because Tampa itself is meh. I feel like it's semi-overrated, but not talked about enough because it's not that great as someone that lives there, personally. So if you haven't answered that, let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you, of course, as well, too. If you haven't voted on our Twitter polls, at BrewSportsNet on Twitter. Also, of course, we have the other poll here on Facebook, your favorite rainy day activity as well, too. Good morning to Tiffany and others as well, too. Tuning in, chiming in, Laura as well, too. Numerous other folks. It's great to have you a part of the broadcast this morning. We'd love anytime you guys voice your opinions. It is Wacky Wednesday if you are just tuning in as well, too, and you're wondering what's going on with all of this. We're just trying to be super wacky. Mackenzie's got the Mitch-Mash stripedy-stripeties. It's cold outside, so I've got a scarf and a hat on, trying to stay warm. But at the same time, I want it to be summer, so I've got my little tanky on here as well, too. So my wife bought me the shirt, by the way. I really like it.
Nice.
She did a good job. She's a good shopper. She shops well for me, so very happy about that.
Brennan is voicing his opinion on Twitter.
Brennan is?
Yeah. He says, He likes country music if they're talking real country music, not the crap on the radio today.
Ooh, all right.
Like, he doesn't like the stuff that you like. He likes the stuff that I like.
Well, Brennan is very interesting, I feel like, in that regards. Huh. See, I'm glad that that's interesting. I wanna look at this poll again though too, like the official results on this, because 100% are voting for country music. 85% have voted to say they don't care where the Super Bowl is played.
Right.
So that's intriguing, I guess, in that regards. And of course, we talked about yesterday as well too for the whole drinking coffee business. So hashtag 51%. Get after it, my coffee drinkers. People don't drink coffee. That boggles my mind that so many people don't drink coffee.
I think they're lying.
I'm pretty sure they do. I don't know. Luis says he's just freezing watching me based off of my outfit, apparently. I'm sorry, Luis. Grab a blanket and your favorite cup of tea and snuggle on a couch and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Apparently today is also the Europa League final as well, too. Manchester United is playing today, says Josh and Adam. So go Red or Manchester United down or whatever the Reds. I'm not a United fan, so I guess I don't know what your hashtag is or whatever for you guys. So stand United. I don't know. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I try not to. I'm an MLS fan, so.
Okay.
And an NWSL fan. Anyway, product placement. Anyway, aside from that, what else, McKenzie?
Well, okay,
some other
so
stuff.
I have a question. So you don't care where the Super Bowl is played.
Correct.
How do you feel about the new overtime rule?
I think it's stupid because overtime very, very rarely happens. And when was the last time you saw an overtime go to 10 minutes or 15 minutes? It's been very rare. There's been a couple of ties the last few years.
Yep.
But it's so far and few between. And I love the fact that people have been fighting this too as well, because they're like, oh my gosh, think of the players. Think of what they have to go through for another 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I'm like, if you were that concerned about what they were doing, you wouldn't let them be playing football.
Yes.
They knew what they signed up for.
Yes.
You know? And another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the game could be over in a drive. Team could go down, they could score and call it a day.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. You just nailed it on the head. So, I don't understand why we switched the time for overtime, like switch it down to 10 minutes. I get it's for the player's safety and fatigue and all of that
How
stuff.
much fatigue can you have?
But I don't like the overtime rule that once somebody scores, it's over.
If it's a touchdown, if it's a field goal,
Right.
go Kickers. But yeah, that makes sense, and the other team gets a chance. And that's what everybody's been
Right.
fighting about too. That's what Packer
No,
fans
but
have been
I
fighting
don't
about as well too.
understand that. If you're going to make it 10 minutes, just say that both teams get a drive or both teams
Right.
get 10 minutes or whatever it may be, because otherwise
Do you think though that
here if you flip a coin, you're basically deciding your fate. I mean, not always and not specifically, but generally speaking,
Right.
whether you win the game or not comes down to how you flipped the coin.
Well, my big thing with this, though, too, is I think the reason that the NFL is so hard-pressed on doing this is because they think the college football game has gone soft. And that's probably why they don't do this, because in college football, everybody gets a chance. Like both teams, I think the NFL has been trying to play on the whole life's not fair concept and say, listen, if the other team goes and scores and your team doesn't get a chance to play, well, that's tough luck for you. Your defense should have played better. That's the game. We're all adults. Let's move on. This isn't college football where everybody gets a chance and can, potentially come back and do something great with it. So I
Yeah.
think that might be the reasoning
I
behind
still
it.
don't like it.
I
I'm
get
not,
that.
I'm
yeah.
not,
I'm not a huge fan
a fan
of it
of
either.
it having to be fair and
Of course.
I don't like participation ribbons. I don't like all of that
No, I
stuff
don't
that
either.
our society does.
I think that's garbage.
But you have the two best teams theoretically in the Super Bowl. If you only give one team the chance to score and then it's over, they should score. And then it should be over. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're screwing that other team over a chance of
Well,
winning. That clearly it was a good game. It's tied and going to overtime.
Right. But that's the
I
thing,
don't know,
though.
I just
At
don't
that,
like
at
it.
that point, though, come overtime, I think everybody wants the game to be done, though. So that's, like I said, that was my argument back to that, though.
Okay.
If Atlanta fans were so hell-bent on why they felt like they got screwed out of a chance in the Super Bowl, my honest, straight-up-forward opinion, which is I feel like very simple, is you should have just stopped the Patriots. You should have just not allowed them to come back. Matt Ryan should not have collapsed. The Falcons should not have collapsed. They should have shut down Tom Brady when they had the chance.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Atlanta. That's on their offense and their defense. That has nothing to do with the overtime rules. If Atlanta fans are still salty about the overtime rules, they need to go back and be salty the fact that they were up, whatever it was,
Yeah.
34 to
Yeah,
10 or
I
whatever,
agree.
and
Yeah.
just completely wet the bed.
Yep.
That's on them.
Yep.
From the playoff game a couple of years ago with the Packers and the Cardinals. The Cardinals were up in that game. The Packers were down, and the fact that they, obviously, of course, it would have been great for Green Bay to get a chance as a fan, but from the outside looking in, Arizona should have never let it got back to that.
Yeah,
And I get
I
it.
agree.
Hail Mary. There's only so much you can do
Yeah.
to play defense, like a little divine intervention, all that fun stuff. But Arizona should have shut the door. They
Yeah.
really should have, and that's on Arizona if they're a little frustrated about that. And I get
Yep.
it, Packer fans, like we want a chance, but that's how society is, though. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
wants a chance. Like, well, they got a chance. Why can't I? Like,
Yeah.
I get it. That's why so many people get fired up and get so frustrated about the overtime rules. But I agree in the sense that I think it's how it should be. You give the opportunity if it presents itself. If you
Mm-hmm.
can prove that you are capable of shutting down a team while they have the ball on offense and you get the ball back, then you have earned that right. You
Yep.
should not get grandfathered in and say, okay, well, they scored, so well, now we get to go get a chance. Like, no, you have to earn it. You
Yep.
are a professional. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play the game. Go and shut them down. Don't just wait for your turn like
Mm-hmm.
a good old little rec soccer boy. Like, no, go and earn it. It's a
Yeah.
Super Bowl or it's any other NFL game. Earn the opportunity to win the game.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I see both sides. I don't know.
Are we having
I
our
don't
first
like it.
disagreement? Because we talked about this yesterday. I don't know if we're fully disagreeing.
I don't think we're
I think
fully
we disagreed on the coffee thing, but I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lose sleep over that
Yeah,
because
no.
I just know that I'm right. So
Oh.
what? Anyway, Julie
Did you
says that
see-
she's with you. By the way, she says no coffee for me. Way to go, Julie.
Oh wait, as in.
Is it, I don't know, your mother?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say Julie. That's my mom.
Like,
Jules.
wait a minute. What up, Jules? Good old Jules.
Okay. Well, did you see that the NFL also changed the rules for player celebrations?
I did hear this, yes, and I've heard.
Okay.
I haven't been able to dive very deep into this,
Yeah.
but I've seen the Twitter posts. I've seen the article
Yeah.
headlines saying that it's setting a really bad example. But I want to know
Yeah.
more, so
okay.
tell me more, please.
So I'm not sure that more has come out really than what you've seen, but quote from Goodell says the league is relaxing rules on celebrations to allow players more room to have fun after they make big plays. So then, a
Big
tweet.
is it a big play thing? So like if I catch a one-handed touchdown from 50 yards away, am I then
But-
granted
but
more? Can I hip thrust 3 times instead of 2?
But what's the line on a big play?
Right. If I run
Because
if
it could just be a 2-yard run, but it's the touchdown that
wins the game.
wins the game in overtime.
Right,
So is that
exactly.
a big like?
Yeah, in
where's the
theory.
line?
Exactly. How are you going to justify what
Yeah.
a big play is? If
So-
I quarterback sneak it up the middle for the first touchdown of the game, I'm not
Yeah.
going to go out. I'm probably not going to go out and like
Right.
get all like gyration and be like like I won. Like,
You're right.
like no one cares.
So the head of referees says it is still possible to get a 15-yarder for an illegal celebration, which includes taunting, weapon imagery, etc.
Weapon imagery.
So I mean,
Come on.
going like
Well,
I don't know,
yeah,
but
but
or
like-
but okay,
Yeah. What if you're shooting the football?
yeah, but
That's a
I
classic
think-
celebration.
I think trying to alter this rule is. This is not a rule that there's like levels for. It's either acceptable or unacceptable.
Right.
Because everybody's going to come up with new antics. Everybody's going to have new celebrations. A big play is different for every person. So how do you possibly say that it's okay here and not okay there? And eventually it's going to end up showing bias between teams. And
I think
you know what I mean? There's
yeah.
why even alter it? Why mess with it?
I think the very simple thing about it is that I think if you want to decide, okay, what is acceptable, what's not, don't allow any sort of profanity, basically. Like, don't allow any, like, sort of sexual acts. Don't
Yep.
allow any, like, middle fingers to the ball, to the crowd, to whoever.
Okay.
And that's about it. I mean, does
Yeah.
anybody really care that, somebody's doing the worm for 3 more seconds than is legally allowed? Or does anybody really care that Chad Johnson, like, putted the football, like, into the hole like Tiger Woods? Like, some of those things are freaking hilarious. The only
Yeah.
time you get yelled at in soccer for an excessive celebration is when you take your shirt off. And 9
Yeah.
times out of 10, those guys have a second shirt on underneath.
Okay.
Like there was a guy that had a phenomenal celebration a couple of years ago because you get a yellow card if you take your jersey off after you
Right.
score a goal.
Right.
Scored his goal, took his jersey off. He had an exact jersey on underneath. So he never
Really?
but he still got yellow card because he
Okay.
took his jersey off. And he was like, I didn't do anything. Like, I still have a jersey on. I
Yeah.
didn't show anything, but the ref
Right.
was not amused. If I was the ref, I'd have been like, this guy.
Smart
guy. Took his shirt off and was like,
Has
still
another
got a jersey
shirt
on.
on. Yeah.
Still a thing. I think that's a bit ridiculous, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be an idiot. Like, don't flip off the crowd. Don't have sex with the ball. Like, just, like stuff like that. Like, I mean, but like the couple of hip thrusts.
How do you? But still, there's no line. Like, you would literally have to make a document that says these motions are okay, these motions are not okay.
Right.
Because it's a personal opinion thing. Like, a referee might be like, "What is that guy doing?" Whereas someone in the crowd might be like, "Yeah, keep doing that. It's hilarious."
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, too. The fact that players are putting more thought and more time into, I just scored. How am I going to celebrate now? Instead
'cause
of,
they have to
how
be
can I help my
unique
team
and-
win the
yeah.
game? They want to be that viral thread on the NFL's Instagram page for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Instead of actually helping their team win the game. Like if more players focused on helping their teams win the game instead of like, okay, just scored my third touchdown. Well, let's see. I did the worm the first one. I tabletop somebody for the second one. So I think I'm going to slam the ball down on this one. It's like, just do what Barry Sanders did. He always scored a touchdown. He would hand the ball to the ref and he'd walk back.
Right. Go
Like-
score another one.
Right. Act like you've been there. That's
Yeah.
the common phrase in all of this is act like you've been there.
Yep.
Don't make this such a big hoopla that you have to go out and celebrate. Like, yeah, I would do little celebrations when I would score in football or soccer, but like it wasn't anything huge. Like my biggest thing that I always would do is I would, kiss my hand and I would point up to God and thank him because I knew none of what I was doing was possible without him. I would always do that regardless if I would do a little dance or a little whatever. Like I would always do that as a sign of respect and a sign of thanks for that. Never once got in trouble for it. Never once got heckled for it. None of that stuff. So,
Right.
And that's the thing. But then you see those guys that are all just like shaking and thrusting, and I'm like, does anybody care? Why do you have to like spike the ball? That's fine, but don't get all like hip thrusty and like all that stupid stuff.
Dancing and yeah.
Right. Save it for the club
Well-
afterwards. Focus on winning the game.
Yeah, right. So another violation
Oh Lord.
in
I feel very
NFL.
violated this morning.
right. So Jerry Jones is, I don't know if you could say charged, with what is it called?
Convicted?
Yeah, but he's possibly gonna have to pay a fine. So I don't really know what that.
That's
comes down
pocket
to,
change
but-
for Jerry.
Right. So ruled as an unintentional ethics violation,
Ethics
which
violation.
I didn't know was really a thing.
Okay.
But so this is what happened.
What did he say? What did he do?
So I'm looking at the article here. It just kind of broke last night, so it's still pretty new.
Okay.
He provided the police officers from North Little Rock, Arkansas, and their families with tickets, airfare, and hotel rooms, an estimated $300,000 gesture, because that's his hometown.
I was about to say, why was he in Little
Yes.
Rock? But this makes more
Okay,
sense.
hometown. I'm skimming down the article right
That's
now.
fine. That's fine.
So, so it says the problem was that the gift violated a law on gifts for public servants. Apparently, there is a rule book on gifts for public servants. So the Arkansas Ethics Commission decided it was an unintentional violation, because Jones said it was supposed to be an award and positive reinforcement for the work that they are doing.
I'm sure.
But so there was a man named Russ. Russ filed the complaint. And his statement was that gifts like this to public officials, especially police officers, undermines public confidence in these officers and city officials in their ability to render fair and impartial treatment.
First of all, what does Russ have better to do with himself than to go after Jerry Jones? Russ sounds like a disgruntled Cowboys fan that got kicked out of a game because he had
Yeah.
one too many or
Right,
something. He's like,
yeah.
I'm going to get Jerry back.
So it says Jerry Jones received a letter of warning for a first offense, and then the sergeant who accepted this gift on behalf of everybody admitted violating the ethics law, but said that it was based upon showing of good cause.
Interesting. Yeah, Jerry Jones
It's
is very
sweet,
strange.
but like little kind of shady.
That's a bit much.
I don't know.
I understand if you're Jerry Jones or any higher ranking official
Mm-hmm.
in the sports world and you give somebody a jersey or you
Yeah.
Little Rock, Arkansas, you guys are awesome. Here's a signed Cowboys jersey by XYZ, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, as a thank you for keeping this town safe. You've been keeping me and my family safe for 80 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's a thank you. Move on.
Right.
But to do this seems a bit excessive.
Well, I think-
And people might recommend this might be a little shady, that Jerry's trying to get a little bit more immunity as he maybe goes 20 over instead of 10 over in the
Yeah.
city limits.
So I was going to say, it's all about the context, right? So if he were to say, we really appreciate law enforcement officials, we will gladly welcome any law enforcement official through
Right.
our stadium doors, and we will offer the a booth with
You're right,
food and
yeah.
drinks for them to stop by while they're there. And while you're there, there's special accommodations, maybe offer them
Yes.
like percentage off a ticket or something like that. I mean,
That's true.
that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It just the whole
But
situation seems
specific to a
ridiculous.
town, to
Well, this is
only
classic
those
Jerry
people,
Jones, though, so
yeah.
that makes sense, I guess. So
but why not the law officials in Dallas? Like,
because Dallas is probably just this, I don't know. Dallas is probably a little bit harder to persuade people in, I feel like, than Little Rock. I don't know. Jeff
right,
says
that's what I'm saying, though. If he was trying to do something good, why would he not be like, Dallas law enforcement officials, we welcome you?
Yeah. I don't know. Nobody knows exactly. Chuck makes
Yeah.
a great comment. He says Jerry Jones equals Skeletor. That is very true. We are wrapping things up here in just a moment.
Yeah.
Good morning to Amanda and everybody else that's tuning in as well. If you haven't answered our questions of the day, please do so. They are here. Favorite rainy day activity? McKenzie and I both kind of agreed we would be all, McKenzie would not be able to sit still, but she'd like to just kind of hang out at home basically and
Clean and watch HGTV.
Clean and watch HGTV. I'm probably glad that I don't work for HGTV because I would have a hard time saying that. Like, welcome to HGTV. Like, I get like extra spit trying to say that. It's too much for me. I would rather watch watch Netflix. I would rather do some baking,
Okay.
cuddle on the couch with my wife and son, stuff like that. I'm all about that life. But HGTV, I love it. I love it or list it though. I will watch HGTV
Oh, that's one of my least
on Netflix.
favorite.
Well, because didn't they remake it? Because don't they have
There's
like
a couple versions of.
I like the middle-aged, weird, slick-looking guy and like the British gal.
Oh, that's the worst show.
What? I think that's
Oh,
the
this
best
is
one.
totally our first argument.
Why do you hate these
They
people?
are so annoying.
They are great.
It is so staged, so fake.
Well, of course.
Oh yeah, they're all staged, but they don't hide it good at all. It's so. Oh,
Are you going
can't.
to love it or are you going to list it?
Oh no.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh.
great. Sad. I don't know where we go from here. Mackenzie's just not having it.
I like really hate that show.
I like Fixer Upper though too.
Yes.
Yeah, Brendan says, Baxter, turn your man card in for the HGTV comment. Listen, Brennan, I feel like a real man watches HGTV, stupid letters, with his wife because he wants to do what makes her happy, okay? So I do that to support my wife because, like, yes, HGTV is not the number one thing that's in my Netflix queue, but I'm still, or queue, or I don't even know how do you say that. Is it queue, your Netflix queue, or your queue? Like, when, like, when it, and you, like, add it
Your
to my
queue.
list, is it my
Oh,
queue?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's my queue.
Your list. We'll just say it's your list.
Yeah, my list. Brian says, it's a good way to please and make the wife happy. Thank you. Brendan, once you get married, you can have that conversation with your wife, and you can see how far it gets you. If you say, no, honey, we're not going to watch what you want to watch. You tell me how comfortable the couch is, and we'll go from there. Like, it's a fact of life.
Yeah.
And
Do you
I'm
know
not-
what it stands for?
Home and garden television?
Nice.
Ah, let's go.
Oh yeah.
There we go. little chest bump dab
Yeah.
action to finish us off here this morning. So, I'm trying to see here if there's any other comments. Jeff said it doesn't have to be. No, it doesn't have to be a blanket gift. It's his hometown, so that's why. So he's going back to the Jerry Jones thing. Josh says Russ
Okay.
is the male version of Karen. If you don't, do you know who Karen is? Have you heard us talk about Karen
No.
before? So Karen has been, when Jamie was here, we decided that Karen was kind of just the one female name that you just always hate.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, Karen's
A
here, or
naggy
like, yeah, it's
mom.
like Karen. So now you've got Russ and Karen. I feel like, Dale was kind of like a
Okay.
kind of a name as well too. Because there's just a couple of those names that you just hear as you're going
so
through
Russ
life.
ended himself up on that list. With
Apparently,
Karen.
according to Josh, he says
Okay.
Russ is the male Karen, apparently, because that seemed like something Karen would do, like reporting in, be like, oh, did you guys hear what Jerry's doing? Like, God,
Right.
like I could see Russ, like, shirt that's too small, beer belly, drinking a beer, be like, hey, Jerry Jones is here in Little Rock, paying off the police.
Oh gosh.
Get after you, Jerry. I don't know. Hopefully not. That's not the case. But one more check on the Twitter polls here, Mackenzie,
Yeah.
before we go. If you haven't voted, at BrewSportsNet on Twitter. Of course, they run for a couple hours after we get off the air as well, too. So feel free to voice
Right.
your opinion. Tell me how great and smart I am. Tell Mackenzie how wrong she is. Everybody wins.
Well, Do you like country music? 100% heck yeah.
You people are terrible.
And
Absolutely terrible.
Do you care where the Super Bowl is played? 85% of people say no.
See, those are smart people.
And we already read our rainy day activities.
It's true, we did. We certainly
So,
did.
at BrewSportsNet on Twitter,
Oh, yeah.
vote your opinion.
Yo opinion? Not.
It's the easiest way for you to admit that you like country music, and nobody has to know that you admitted to it.
Unless you tweet at us like Brennan did.
Right.
That's fine. I understand
But I'm
that.
saying you can keep it anonymous if
That's
you'd like.
true. If you want to secretly admit that you do actually enjoy country music, which you realize I will find you and I will hunt you down if you end up acknowledging that. No. Like I said, there's like 5 to 7 country songs that I like.
Okay.
Aside from that, no thank you. So, anyway, it's been Wacky Wednesday. Roberto gives us a great comment. He said, this is so much better than Undisputed. Thank you, Roberto. I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in this morning. It is Wacky Wednesday, as we mentioned. We are going to, Brian says, find me. Oh, I'll find you, Brian. I know vaguely where you live. Maybe I don't. I have no idea. Anyway, it's been Wacky Wednesday. If you want to participate or you've got a wacky outfit, make sure you tag us on it on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at BrewSportsNet. We'd love to see how you're getting all wacky today. As we mentioned, McKenzie's got the stripy things going this way and that way. I've got the t-shirt, or the I forget what this is now.
Tank top.
There you go. English. I need more coffee. I've got a tank top on because I want it to be summer, but I'm also cold because it's like 40 degrees and rainy outside.
It is.
So I certainly I'm trying to stay warm as well too. And I've got my blue light glasses on. I feel like I can become a totally different person when I take my glasses off. Do I?
Yeah, you look super different.
I look super different. I feel like I look more old and sophisticated.
No, you look younger without them on.
Do I? I look younger without my glasses on?
Yeah.
That's what I said. I feel like I become more old and sophisticated with my
Oh,
glasses
once you put them on.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. Gotcha.
Yes, you're correct.
All right. Well, special thanks to Alfredo Monte and Christian Heimel, who are here earlier in the program to give us the latest insight into the baseball world. Thank you to all of you that commented, that tuned in as well. Remember, brewsportsnet.com is the website. Brew Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all the great places. MCK_Laurent for McKenzie on Twitter, at Baxter Colburn, if you want to follow either of us on the social media universe. Thanks for watching. Coming up next on Brew Sports is 2 Up Front with myself and Simon Provan, some MLS, some NWSL, all kinds of great soccer talk for you at 10 a.m. Central Time live on the Brew Sports Network. We'll be back tomorrow for a Thursday edition of the Morning Brew at 7 a.m. Central Time. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
3,